What's up, guys? Once again, this is a Badwolf exclusive. All right, so how to deal with speeding tickets. Motion to dismiss based on the fact that you were speeding. Let's take a look at what ChatGPT set me up with today. As always, guys, everything here is education, entertainment purposes only, informational needs. Any personal consultations with me and regarding some of these things are more intrinsic. We do put way more information than what ChatGPT does provide. However, it is a good resource for you guys to get started. All right. And do it on your own if you want. What I will say in all honesty is that depending on how you use the motion to dismiss and other information, you may or may not be more successful. Your odds increase with utilizing my service or somebody who's crafted in this, because they may ask you, they may rebut some of the things in here. So once again, we will be creating some seminars. We'll have like mock information going back and forth. So check out Black Site 32. Check out the seminars page where you'll be able to purchase the VIP videos and see what was only on the private side for us and how to rebut some of these things. But to get your feet wet and use it. And I'm not saying you will not be successful with what I'm about to show you. It may not be all that you need, and you may need to rebut some of their rebuttals. But if you want to do it on your own, let's take a look. And I highly recommend you getting your feet wet, definitely. But I will say this, utilizing ChatGPT and this basic information here, and then what's going to be in our videos will make you more successful. All right. So let's go. So what did I do? Went to ChatGPT, create a letter of motion to dismiss charges for speeding, which is what most of you guys do. Now, let me back up. This does not condone speeding. The passport process and the passport card do not condone speeding. Zero. And as you get older, you'll find that speeding, you're like, I don't even need to speed no more. That's, when I was younger, yeah, I speed everywhere. I thought it was cool. Really, at the end of the day, waste your gas. You don't get there that much faster. Key thing here, you're endangering yourself and other people's lives and people's loved ones, including me. And most people can't speed good. A lot of people are horrible drivers at driving fast. So don't do it. That's all I'm saying. And all you're doing is making money for the police and the very system you say you don't like. So how about we piss them off by not speeding? Okay. Unless you're on a sanctioned track or a isolated, empty road, something like that. Maybe an on-ramp. That's where I like to do it. All the juice I like to get out, on-ramp. Boom. Other than that, it's really not worth it at the end of the day. Plus, a lot of people are just crappy drivers. So if you're crappy driving normal speed, don't speed and, Sorry, I just watched some, or not random, the neighbor's dog walking through my yard there. I don't know why dogs are attracted to my yard. It's so weird. It's like, oh, lots of places to pee on, and I probably shouldn't be over here peeing on things. Anyway, all right, so let's get to it. I digress.
I hope this letter finds you in good health and high spirits.
Why would you start your letter off that way? Because you want them who've probably been in a bad mood, they're at work, they got tons of cases, they got to decide what they're going to do with people's lives that most of them should not be deciding on, but we'll leave that alone for now, some of which they should. So you want to be a non-belligerent, non-combatant, be cool. Same thing to your police officers and sheriffs and everybody else. They're doing a job. They don't know the full entirety, ins and outs of their job. If you're watching my video, you probably know more than them, and then they don't want to know that, and they don't want to believe what you're saying because they weren't taught that, and they think they know more than you. So don't bring up stupid private stuff and things that are going to make their day bad. And then they're probably not going to treat you good. Isn't that right, my young police officer friend? Oh, shout out to you, brother. I appreciate you. All right. And the rest of my good officers out there, I appreciate you guys. Like I said before in my other videos, I was going to become an officer. All right. Apparently didn't make the cut. So it is what it is. Now I teach people, including those people, all the ins and outs. Well, Not all the ins and outs, but a good chunk. Good chunk. All right, let's keep going.
Spirits. I am writing to formally submit a motion to dismiss the charges against me for the alleged speeding violation on date of offense. I firmly believe that there are substantial grounds to warrant the dismissal of this case, and I kindly request your careful consideration of the following points. Lack of sufficient evidence. The prosecution has failed to provide sufficient evidence to establish beyond a reasonable doubt that I was driving above the posted speed limit. Without conclusive evidence, the case lacks the necessary foundation to proceed further. Radar calibration and accuracy. It is essential to question the accuracy and calibration of the radar device used to measure my speed. Without proper maintenance and calibration records, the reliability and accuracy of the speed measurement are brought into question. I request that the prosecution provides verifiable evidence of the radar device's calibration records and maintenance history. Due process.
Now, one of the things here I can tell you is that they usually do have that, but that does not mean all the time. And even though you're talking about the gun, you can also question the officer if he was properly trained in it. That's why I said there are more things you can add to these things than just the letter. The letter can work. But if they were to have this, then where do you go? You've got nothing. I would say, well, Your Honor, in relationship to the calibration and accuracy, that's fine. You've been able to prove that. But what about the officer himself? Does he have any certificates or a license? Does he have any courses? How often do you need to take those courses? How long do the licenses last? When was the last thing? Did he get a passing grade? Come on, man. Let's go.
Process violations. Throughout the traffic stop, I believe my constitutional rights were violated. The officer did not adhere to proper procedures, failed to inform me of my rights, and conducted the traffic stop without reasonable cause. These violations undermine the legitimacy of the charges against me. Impossibility of offense. It is worth noting that the alleged violation took place on a road segment with heavy traffic congestion and multiple traffic signals.
Oh,
Given the circumstances, it would have been practically impossible for me to exceed the speed limit without jeopardizing my safety and that of other motorists.
hey.
I kindly request the court to consider this factor while evaluating the validity of the charges.
You could also go further and to say, did it take a picture of me specifically? How did it isolate just me? Is there a picture in a laser proving that it laser beamed just me? Are there outside influences like wind, weather, electrical noise or pollution, the time of day, sunlight, the road conditions, reflective surfaces? You get where I'm going with this. So that's what I'm saying. This is a great tool, but it's not a human who can extrapolate. So, but let's keep going.
Charges. Based on the aforementioned points, I respectfully request that the court dismiss the charges against me. I have always maintained a clean driving record and take road safety seriously.
Now, some of y'all might have to edit the part which says clean driving record. You might want to change clean to basic, standard, or average.
Seriously. I am willing to cooperate fully with the court and provide any additional evidence or information required to support my motion. I kindly request a prompt hearing on this matter to ensure a fair and expeditious resolution. Please inform me of the hearing date and any additional documentation or evidence required from my end. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I am hopeful that the court will consider the merits of my motion and render a just decision. Should you require any further information or clarification, please do not hesitate to contact me at your earliest convenience.
There it is. I just gave you guys half of the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Now, people would say, well, Wolf, why would you do that when you could make so much more money on, blah, blah, blah? Because here's the thing. You guys, there's only there's more types of people out there like me, but for me, there's one of me. And you guys have to learn to stand up for yourselves as a private person, private sector citizen, and an American. And if you're not going to make speeding a habit and you want to learn how to motion for yourself, there it is. Now, obviously, this is not to be put out here to use it or to abuse it or to replace a lawyer or me, okay, or somebody like me who's competent. Well, I don't have legal qualifications. More a friend of the court in on hands training, private counsel, if you will. You need to be able to learn these things, research these things, and this is like the bridge. Most people aren't going to sit in the books and read, but now you've got a way, a tool that you guys can use to at least help defend and speak up and fight. And instead of just going in there, yeah, here's your money. I'm not trying to say make their day longer and harder. You're trying to actually help them. Because if they see that you're going to fight, they're going to go after what? You think they're going to go after the wolf or the sheep? Exactly. So here's how some of you sheep out there can take off some of your fur, hair, wool, and put a wolf mask on for once. All right. But understand this, if you are notoriously a speeder and you've got a messed up record and whatever else, this probably ain't gonna work for you because they're gonna be like, no, your record shows difference. And this is one of the things too. Okay. I usually don't take my conversations to this point. See, when doing these things are based in the real world, in fact. Okay. There's a big movement out there, and I don't care whether you're male or female, so we'll leave that aside. But a lot of people live in a delusional world. Hopefully, not my people watching, but in case there are one or two, I'm gonna hurt some feelings here. So, trigger warning, you might want to. This is what I usually talk about on my TikTok channel. Doing great over there, actually. Kind of remarkably interesting. You have to be based in a real world. So many people keep having these delusions, and we use them every day. Okay, whether it's a hair piece for a guy or makeup for a female, these are all delusions. You don't have those things, but what you're not being natural. To think that you deserve like a high supermodel or a high value man, supermodel, dude or chick, whatever. I'm not saying you shouldn't try to get those things, but don't base your whole life on trying to get things that you may not qualify for. You have to live in the real world. Stop with the mental illness and stop with the civil engineering that they're doing, trying to have us exist in this world. Okay, I'm just under 6 foot. I don't walk around like I'm 6 foot. If I want to be taller, I know I can go and get some surgery done. It's not who I am. And there could be complications that could cost me. I'm happy with who I am. This is what I am. You don't like it, that's okay. I don't need to impress you. I'm okay with me. But if you feel internally like you need this to be better, then okay, be better. But if you're a guy with a hairpiece, and no offense, but I don't care if I, annoy anybody. When you get home, at some point in time, she's going to see you got a hairpiece. And then your male sons are also going to have the same male pattern baldness unless they work really hard, like I had to do to keep my hair, as my dad had. A lot of vitamins, a lot of taking supplements, especially like zinc and whatever else, and to increase the blood flow and remove plaque from the arteries. Takes work. Same thing for the ladies. If you're always out here wearing makeup, but you're saying you're a 10, you need to take all that makeup off and show them who you really are, because that's who you really are. And you need to be okay with that. And you can't then be mad if he sees you for the first time without makeup and he's like, oh, it's not who I brought home. Now, we all know that guys are still probably going to smash. But at the same time, you can't then call yourself a 10. A 10 means perfect in all the ways, male or female. I'm not a 10. There's no way I'm a 10. If I had to be honest, I'd probably grade myself as like a 8. Maybe probably a high 8. Just saying, you got to be honest with yourself. All right. 10 means there's nothing you need to improve. Not the way you walk, talk, hair, body parts. You're happy with everything. You're confident. Because if you're not confident, you have any insecurities, and we all do, you can't be a 10. So this information is based in the real world. You can go to court and feel like you should win with your emotions, just like when an officer or somebody comes up to me and like, well, you can't do this and do that. Well, where is it based in the real law of fact? Because I know exactly what I can do. Do you? I went toe to toe with one officer and I was like, how long are you in the academy? About 9 months, right? To master any one of these books in law takes 7 years to become a lawyer. I've been doing this for 40. You can do it every day for 9 years. And in these areas, I know more than you because I specialize in it. Most officers, no offense, I'm just talking in general, you're taught traffic codes for public U.S. citizens to obey and the general public to obey in general, meaning you can't, even a private person cannot be out there speeding and endangering public safety. Other parts of the law, that's why you guys have detectives. They specialize in that. You guys specialize in code enforcement for your municipality. That doesn't mean you know all of the law, including constitutional law. So do not contact me until you've read constitutional law, Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights to even start. Also, what we teach here, other than constitutional law, is private law. Some of the things I talk about do base in traffic code, safety, and rules and regulations. Because why? Because we have to study that because we are a party to that at times. So I study all of it. Most of the people out there study one sliver of it and think they know all of it. You don't. Matter of fact, there's not one cop that knows all of the traffic codes. It's not. They don't know it. Who do they contact? They contact their commanding officer when they're challenged appropriately as a non-belligerent on the side of the road. And then their commanding officer may or may not know all of them, but he'll make a judgment on it. That's why he got to that position. So because he has been in it so long, he knows most of it. And there's still some things he's not sure of. And there's some things that can be challenged due to interpretation of the law on the federal level, which is superior than everything that he does. This is why the judge, when I was in court, asked me if I was a lawyer and asked me to join them, because I beat the prosecutor and him, which is a hard thing to do. And I was self-taught. Because you don't have to have a license to be good at something. You have to have a license if you want to do it for income in the public. Otherwise, you can do it privately. All right, guys, that's it. So hopefully you guys found this information interesting, informational, educational, entertainable. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, enjoy your day, guys. Put your best foot forward. Be wise, be aware, and take care of yourselves and each other every day, even if you're mad at them.